So now we're just going to go through how to make a homemade sauerkraut. It's really super simple. It follows on from our fermented veg video a little. You just need to, you want really finely sliced cabbage, or it doesn't have to be finely sliced, but the finer you slice it, the more liquid you'll get out of it. So you'll be able to make a brine with just the juices that come out of the cabbage. We're going to, so I've got a bowl here which I've zeroed my scales. I'm going to just weigh out the red cabbage. I mean, traditionally sauerkraut is made with green cabbage, but you can make it with whatever you want. I mean, you can weigh the cabbage before you slice it. Doesn't really make any odds. So we've got 1.6 kilos of cabbage. We need to put 2% weight salt of the cabbage that we have. So 2% of a kilo is 20 grams. 2% of a kilo and a half would be 30 grams. So zero your scales again, just to so you don't have to think too much. And 26, 30. So there's your salt. So we've got a kilo and a half of cabbage. If you want to use green cabbage, Savoy cabbage, red cabbage, use whatever you want. Then you're going to need to put some spices in. Traditionally, in a German sauerkraut, the spices are caraway seeds and mustard seeds. But again, just put whatever you like in there. If you want to play it safe and go for the traditional ones. Great. I've got a bit similar. I've got caraway, bit of cumin, bit of a few chili flakes, and some black peppercorns, and a few coriander seeds. And I'm just going to throw those on top. Going to put a spoon of mustard in there. Spoon of mustard. Big spoon of mustard. Like a bit of heat. And then you're just going to want to work this together. And once you've worked this together, like the bigger the bowl you've got, the better, because I mean, a smaller bowl, things are going to try and fly out the sides. But just try and give that a good turn, get right down the bottom, pull the bottom out, go around the bowl, do each side, get underneath, pull it all out, and try and get all that salt through. You can kind of see the seeds are going through, so it's quite a bit easier to see than the grains of salt that you've got in there. But just pull that all around, try and give it a good mix, and then you're just going to want to let that salt go to work. It's going to make its own brine as it draws moisture out of your cabbage. So just push that down. Don't worry about putting your hands in here, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to ferment this, and your hands have actually got all these natural yeasts on that are going to start the fermentation process going, and the cabbage has got its own yeast. So all of this kind of like fires the thing up. So now at this point, I mean, I can already feel like moisture coming out just because we sliced it finely. But now you want to just cover that for about 2 hours, and in about 2 hours you should start to see quite a lot of moisture coming out. You give it another turn, another press, and then it's going to need to go into something a bit like this. Some sort of big tub. If you've got big kilner jars, you can do that. And then simply you just put the lid on, leave it for at least a week. A week you'll see things happening. You let the pressure out every day, just by loosening the lid a little bit, burp it, and yeah, by the end of a week you'll have sauerkraut. And if you can keep it longer, like if you can keep it months, then you'll get like a really stronger fermentation, more sour cabbage. Some would say it's got more flavour. If you like it less sour, you're going to want to eat it quickly. But also a really good way of using leftover cabbage, or just making your cabbage and vegetables last a lot longer. If you've got things that you just don't think you're going to be able to eat in time, do this: 2% salt, ferment them, and then they'll keep for practically forever. It's really, really probiotic, really good for you, and avoids waste. So a few hours later now with our sauerkraut, just going to give it another little turn with my hands, and I'm going to transfer it to our jar, and then that's basically it. We leave it there to check tomorrow that some brine has come out of it, but it should just start fermenting, and then by tomorrow, or like by the end of the week, we'll have the startings of our sauerkraut. I'm just packing this in now into our jar. You can see, like, as you squash it, all that brine comes out. And I'm just going to give that till tomorrow, maybe a bit longer. And then we'll probably find a jar that's a bit closer fit to the size. So we don't have all that wasted space. But we use this just to ferment this, and hopefully all that liquid will come out, and everything will be submerged, and then that'll be what we need for our fermentation. So we've now repotted our sauerkraut into individual jars. They've all got a date on, just so that we know when we come to open them up. But that'll keep for ages. You want to store these in some kind of dish for the next 5-6 days, because they're going to ferment and they might leak a little bit. And you'd also probably want to, like, loosen the tops every day to let the pressure out.